You see an opportunity to step up to be the leader. But why are you doing it? Are you doing it to promote yourself? Are you doing it to make you look better? I sure hope not. Or do you see a problem that you might have a solution to that could help everybody around you? I hope so. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. This week we're going to talk about the role of the leader and how this will set you up for success as you go forward to helping your team, your organization to have a brighter future. And in doing so, these roles will help you have the structure you need to balance your managerial skills and your leadership skills. Let's break this down into a timeline of pre, process, and end state. In the pre-stage, you're gonna have to be a visionary. That's a major role. You see a problem, you have a vision of what the solution or a vision of a better future, how we can get there, and you need to communicate that. You need to be the great orator, better than Ronald Reagan himself. You have to have a vision and great communication skills to get others to gravitate around what you are trying to accomplish. And along with that, you need to be able to create a mission statement, a concise, one-titled thing that gets everybody on board. And then set your core values. These are the guide rails that keeps everyone on track to reaching the goal. Now, let's go into the hardest stage, which is the process itself. This demands a lot of roles out of you to keep your team successful. It all begins with how you create the environment for the members to be successful. And you do that by creating a culture of trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have a relationship. And if you want to be a leader, leading is about relationships. It's about societal skills. You have to be able to have trust within the organization, within your team, to be able to go forward. And then, how do you protect your men and women from the distractions that are out there? There are outside distractions, and then there's mission creep distractions. Your role is to be able to keep the noise away from the people so they can do what they do best. You need to keep them in line and focused to reaching the goals. And finally, you just need to be able to culture a commitment of excellence, that everyone brings their best whenever they can. And not every day can everyone bring their best, but if somebody can pick up the slack for somebody having a bad day, great. But if somebody's picking up the slack for somebody continuously because they never have a good day, then you need to reevaluate the situation. The next role is you have to be able to provide the resources for your members to be successful. Those resources are more than just funding, more than just equipment, and more than just the product itself. But it's also time, space. And you have to be a master of how you balance the way you distribute these resources. In the Marine Corps, we were always taught that you always weigh the main effort. Main effort is the group that's doing the heavy lifting. That is your key to success. And not every team has that ability to be the main effort. But in doing so, you're getting the most effectiveness out of a finite resource by the way you distribute them. And you can't do it equally. You have to weigh the main effort. Another role of yours is you're the coach, you're the mentor, you're the one who's helping them grow. As you're growing as a leader, your people have a need to grow. Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs? You have to help them hit their growth needs as well. And your ability to do so as being that mentor, as being able to coach them through, will go a long ways in making the team a stronger, more cohesive team in doing what they do best. You're also the motivator and the cheerleader. Trust me, there's times that I wanted to get my hands dirty with the team, but I couldn't because I wasn't qualified to do so. So the best thing that I could do was I could motivate them. I could cheer them on. I can give them praises. I can give them, hey, this is what, I know you can do this. I've seen you do this before. I have ability that made them rise to the occasion to not only surprise me, but they surprised my boss and my boss's boss. Just having your ability to cheerlead goes a long ways. The most important role you're going to have as a leader in the process stage is your decision-making ability. You only got hired to this position because you showed the people in authority that they could trust you to make decisions at your level. But you also have to show your people how you make those decisions so they can trust you. When you make a conclusive statement, they understand where it came from, why it's there, and hey, maybe it teaches them how they can make decisions so when you're ready to move them up into positions of responsibility. Another role is you're the team builder. You're the one who brings the team together and gets the best out of them. Help them grow, help them become the best of who they are and what they can be. Not drain the blood out of the rock, but to be able to inspire the light out of the sun. You have the ability to see everybody and how they work together as a group and how they work individually, and to be able to optimize the environment for them to be able to be successful both as a team and as individuals. The worst thing you can allow is the A team, B team, C team mentality. The reason why is the saying goes in business that C team players get fired, B team members stick, and A team members leave because you allow the B team's members to stay. By having everyone rise to the occasion with that commitment of excellence, they all should be working their way to A team players. And by having A team players, you've done that because trust is the most important thing. I can't say it enough. Trust is more important than performance, but you still need performance to have the ability to accomplish your job, to accomplish the projects. You're also a crisis manager. And you do this two ways. One, you mitigate the risks. You identify it, you prioritize them, you lay out a plan, and you execute those plans, and then you watch the environment for change. You help mitigate the risks. Another thing that you do with crisis management is you've already created the plans during the calm times to be able to react when the crisis occurs. You and your team think about these things, work them out. What if situations? How do you make the best in most of the situations? So when it does happen, you have the peace of mind knowing, hey, we've seen this before. We've practiced this before. This is what happens. This is what we need to do. Because nobody is in their rational mind during an emergency. The only time that you have your best mental capacity is when it's calm, when you have the ability to do research and think about what it is that you might have to deal with. What are the processes that work best to answer that problem? When you're in the heat of the situation, you're so emotionally ramped up, you don't have those abilities, those resources available to you because you are focused on one thing. While having it done during times of calmness and planned out, when you're caught in the heat of the moment, the only thing you need to remember to do is pull out the book and read it line for line. You are the accountability manager. Your role is to make sure that accountability is more than just holding people's feet to the fire. Your role as the accountability manager should be, I expect this from you, you should expect this from me. That way it's a two-way street and it creates mutual dignity and respect within each other. It's no different than two airline pilots who are in the cockpit. They hold each other accountable. The non-flying pilot makes sure the flying pilot is on altitude, airspeed, and direction that was assigned to them, and vice versa, so that they don't get a flight violation, so they don't lose their jobs. And that's what accountability should be. It should be helping each other stick within the guardrails that are set before you. Now you have the end stage. This is the fun part that everyone looks forward to because they want to be able to have the celebration, to be able to pat their people on the back, to know that they've done the job well. And that's the most important thing that you can, as a leader, do, is be able to promote your people to your boss's boss about how great they did and award them for what they've done. There's nothing greater than being able to stand in front of 250 Marines and to be able to pin on a medal to an individual who went above and beyond to help the process, to help the project exceed any expectations. And there's times that even the people you don't expect that rise up to the occasion surprise you, and they need to get rewarded, even if you didn't like them. They went above and beyond the job and helped the process or helped the project exceed expectations. You need to acknowledge their efforts. You need to acknowledge, hey, they've done something outstanding here and they deserve an award. And the last role that you have is, what you have to create the succession plan. You need to be able to understand the change in the ins and outs of any organization. All organizations have this process. People leave, people stay, and new people come. What does that succession plan look like? How do you have somebody trained to be able to step up to that next higher responsibility when it opens up? Most times people are pretty good about filling in those spaces because they're hungry, they're eager to. But hunger and eagerness is not enough. You have to teach them the discipline. You have to teach them the ins and outs, the nuances, the secrets that you haven't had time during the process to teach. This is that great moment where you have to send them away to a seminar to learn something that can help enhance your organization, help enhance your team in the way you take on projects. With these roles, I hope that this gives you structure to be able to set your leadership with. And remember, leadership is a complicated thing. It's the most complex idea because of the dynamics that go with it. The people around you, the environment, the culture, the influence and impacts, and the causes and effects. All of those make you have to be agile into knowing when to use which leadership skill, when to be in what role, and when to optimize what you do best. You have the ability to do great things. You have the ability to be a great leader. Use these constructs to help form your leadership itself. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. If you like this video, hey, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up. Tell us that you like what we're talking about here. If you missed this video about dealing with your bad boss, check it out. It'll give you some great ideas of how you can protect your team from your bad boss. Check out this video about having the strength and the courage to be able to change your identity, your purpose, as the world's evolving around you, as you want to be your own boss, as you want to be your own independent person. We'll talk to you next video.